What up, YouTube, man? It's your boy Rock. I'm back, man, with another reaction. We got the Jaylen Brown disrespect was way worse than you think. I think it's my first time reacting to him. His name, Swish Out, man. Let's get it.
I wasn't thrilled with the amount of respect that was showed during this
Definitely watch this.
process.
I
I
watched
think
every damn minute of this shit, boy. I was bored as hell. I, like, I really couldn't wait to see what he had to say. And he ain't disappoint, man. He said everything he had to say, and let him say it. Let's do it.
there was a bit of a lack of respect. I think it was fine at one point,
He was popping it a
and
little
then out
bit
of
too.
nowhere
I like
things just
it.
kind of went
He
left.
said, nigga, that's still my favorite season. Facts, nigga.
And I think Brad is probably getting a lot of the criticism. I wasn't thrilled the way he facilitated some of the conversations.
Brad, is Jaylen Brown going to be on this team at the beginning of next season?
Jaylen Brown's a big part of us. Like, I'm never gonna predict the future, but like every indication, everything that I think about is over the past few years has been building around those guys, right? And so obviously you never know, but at the same time,
Oh yeah, this
I
is
think
obvious.
the one thing I want to make very clear is how valued he's always been. And
Last night, we seen one of the worst returns for a superstar that I've
Do
seen
not talk about Luka, bro.
in my entire life. Obviously, we all talk about the Luka trade and how inexplicably bad that trade
That
was.
shit was not that bad, bro. I don't give a damn. Luka's overrated, bro. That shit was not that bad.
But this rivals that. To me, in some ways, it actually might be worse. Philly and Boston are obviously
It
divisional
was
rivals.
not
And
good at all, though. Don't get it fucked up, but it wasn't that bad, though. If AD, goddamn. This man, so I don't even want to get into it, man. If this nigga could have just stayed healthy, man, we could have seen what we could have seen something. You never know, man.
and Philly and Boston have honestly been in each other's way
But
for
shit,
the
that's probably
duration
the
of.
same, but nah. He's older than AD. And he's kind of more injury prone a little bit, Paul George. They both injury prone, I ain't gonna lie. But then, like, at least they got Max Christie too. He's going to be, in my opinion, he's still gonna keep getting better. He's gonna be at least. I think his peak is like a Derek White if he could just get his handles right, which is not bad. But I don't. We gotta see. We gotta see it through. We gotta see if he can get there. I don't think Max Christie bad. He's a starter. He was one of the top 10 best 3-point shooters last year. He's gonna keep getting better. So we can't forget Christie either. But hey, would I have done that? Probably not. I ain't gonna lie, but did it look good that first game? Yes. They ain't gonna talk about that, but I see why though. I mean, that was all we had, so that's all we got.
And Philly and Boston have honestly been in each other's way for the duration of all of their best players' careers. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, and hell, even Ben Simmons back then. Basically, since Jason Tatum got drafted, these two have played each other in the playoffs 23 times. Boston has come out on top the majority of these times. These two have met in a Game 7 2 different times. And since these two teams have drafted and formed their contending teams, they've always been destined to meet when it matters most. With all of that context,
Bro, Embiid,
that's who Brad
stay
Stevens
healthy,
decided
bro.
to deal
Please.
arguably their best player right now to, and it made no sense.
What?
Stevens decided to deal arguably their best player right now.
I like that. Thank you, man. Because we can't keep acting like it's a point, like a straight up fact that Tatum is better, especially after the injury too. Like even before the injury, but I think that it's like it can go either way. They're both top 10. It is not clear cut, really, no way, bro. And if it is, it gotta be in this nigga favor, in my opinion.
Two, and it made no sense.
Defense
Last
matters,
night,
bro.
after that trade,
He's the reason Luka got traded, bro.
really made me sit and ponder that Jaylen Brown is one of the most disrespected superstars I've ever seen in my entire life.
I wonder why.
And yes, despite everything people emphasize about what he can't do, he is and proved to be a superstar. Jaylen Brown recently tweeted, since he's been drafted,
Shout out, bro,
nobody
man.
has more regular season.
I see a lot of niggas fucking with him now. It's like he earning fans, and it's like I even felt like that. I just couldn't wait to see him on a new team so I could fully support him. But like just the disrespect and the smearing, it's like yes, I gotta fuck with this nigga even more than I already was. It's Kyrie like all over again, and it's just like when niggas is going through this, they're real ones, man. And you gotta respect it.
And playoff
And
wins
he stand up for black folks. There's nothing not to like about this nigga, unless maybe you're not black. I don't know.
combined, and that's
I
a
don't know.
fact. But
even
to
if you're not
actually
black,
take it a
what the
step
hell?
further, since he's been
Still, he
drafted,
ain't
he has
saying
more
shit.
playoff wins than anybody,
He's a
second
stand-up guy.
Tatum. He's been to 6 conference finals, more than anyone.
he got more
and
than
most
Tatum.
importantly to me, he's felt like the heart and soul of Boston, and it always felt like it meant nothing. I understand the majority of Boston fans appreciate Jaylen Brown, and that's been pretty evident to me over the last 24
Somebody's
hours.
terrorist.
But there has been this specific bunch that
What I do like is they keeping the same energy somewhat with Brad Stevens that they did with Nico. I respect that because I did not expect that. I would just think they always gonna make Nico seem like he was the worst GM ever and all that other shit, and no one else would get that smoke. But he was getting that smoke. I ain't gonna lie.
didn't, and that seemed to be pretty clear from the start.
Here's Adam Silver. Let's listen in right here, guys.
The Boo Birds are out.
Mixed reaction.
They'll like them later.
But I understand why though, because everybody's reading the tweets. They're reading
They
the
want
same.
Buddy Hield. Everyone, they listen to you.
I want Buddy Hield.
They listen to you, Drake.
When Jaylen
Yeah.
Brown got drafted,
I just
he
heard
literally
about
got
that the other day.
booed
I
by
did
his
not
own
know
fans. It was so bad that Boston's former owner came out and said it was the worst he's ever seen.
This guy is our guy, and he's our guy for the future. So we're pleased to make the pick, and we're very glad that Jaylen Brown is a Celtic.
Damn, boy. I ain't gonna lie. They would feel me. I ain't gonna lie. I would have to get off that team, bro. Just to pop it on the fans, cause man, bro, that's so damn disrespectful, bro. You don't even know basketball either. Like, you niggas think y'all know basketball. Obviously you didn't and don't. But man, how can he stay there? I mean, you gotta be appreciative if you're in the league, but nigga, can you request a trade a year in, right? I would have did that probably. Get the hell away. I mean, I need to get away.
We're
from
pleased to
y'all.
make the pick, and we're very glad that Jaylen Brown is a Celtic. Thank you very much.
Danny
See what they
Ainge,
did
their
when Tatum got drafted.
former GM, he had to come out and publicly defend the move, and he was right. I'm sorry, but if you look at that draft now, Jaylen Brown is pretty clearly the best of that bunch. And besides him always being the number one player thrown in trade rumors anytime any new hot player became available, please look at all the sacrifices this man has made for this team, and it meant absolutely nothing. In 2017, Boston had a phenomenal offseason by the eye. They drafted Jason Tatum, they got Kyrie Irving from one of their biggest rivals, Cleveland, and Brad Stevens was able to get Gordon Hayward back. This group was supposed to be something special, and it collapsed immediately. For as great as Boston has been over the last decade, they've had some swings and misses and misfortunes themselves. Kyrie Irving also got hurt that year, so basically their entire offseason plan failed instantly. The biggest reason it didn't
I was not here for this era. I did not. I still don't really know what happened.
is because this rookie and this second-year player stepped up immensely,
Oh my
and it's only like
Lord.
one guy gets the credit. For a second-year player who basically became like an afterthought
Nigga.
in the games Kyrie Irving didn't play that year, this is what Jaylen Brown did. They lost in the conference
heard
finals
that.
against Bron.
I heard that like bro, he was on the bench for a while, right? Like, was it like 2-3 years straight or some shit? I think like did Kyrie and Gordon Hayward get hurt and he was starting and then he went right back to the bench the next year or some shit?
Who was clearly on a whole different level. And yes, a rookie Jason Tatum
Oh,
played
yeah, I
great
remember this.
and had this iconic dunk over Bron. But Jaylen Brown was the one that led him in scoring that year against Cleveland in that conference finals. And how exactly was he rewarded?
Damn, this team is stacked. You're there. Kyrie's there. Jaylen Brown's second season. You guys just drafted Jason Tatum. Al Horford's there. Like a loaded roster.
In my eyes, it was just we all had, it's too many agendas. Then you've got JT and Jaylen and Terry who are coming off where they're all starting, make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think, the year before. Like they're all trying to prove like we've arrived.
Boston comes back the following year with all this talent on paper, but it's way too many egos, similar play styles, and like Gordon Hayward said, personal agendas. And who do you think had to take the biggest sacrifice?
I had to call Bron, and tell him I apologize for being that young player that wanted to.
Hold on. What the fuck?
And tell him, like, I apologize for being that young player that wanted to everything at his, at his fingertips, and I wanted everything to be at, my threshold. I wanted to been the young guy of, being a 22-year-old kid and, wanting everything. Wanting everything right now, coming off an all-star year starting, and then, this heck of a presence comes back, and now I got to adjust my game to this guy.
With all due respect to Kyrie Irving now, first option Kyrie at that time was pretty cancerous to Boston. And with him and his ego,
I do not know if that's true. This is where I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I gotta do my own research.
And Gordon Hayward coming back, who
what do you mean cancerous? What does that mean?
Was coached by Brad Stevens at Butler.
What do you mean? Off to their growth or something? What are you talking about?
A Game 7 conference finals appearance against Bron, where he led that team in scoring. Jaylen Brown was the one that had to come off the bench.
So it was cancerous for Jaylen Brown. Is that what you're talking about?
Kyrie came in here and had a really positive message for you guys. We got to be more accountable as a group. It's not one guy's fault. It's not young guys, old guys' fault. It's everybody. We all got to be accountable and turn this thing around. But we just got to have each other's back.
This nigga's in right there. What the hell?
Can't make comments, can't point fingers. We got to continue to empower each other and have each other's back. If we don't, when we start pointing fingers, everybody's going to go into their own bullshit. We got to continue to play basketball.
I wasn't here for that. I wasn't here for that.
Well, it starts from the top to the bottom, not from the bottom to the top.
Looking back on it, I understand Gordon Hayward was the hot new face in Boston. He chose Boston. He was on a massive contract. It was a lot of sentimental energy around Gordon because of what just happened to him, and he was Brad's guy. But bro, he was just the 3rd overall pick, and fresh off that playoff run he just had, he came back and was essentially the...
Because all I do know is they said Kyrie had one bad series, the Bucks series. That's all I know. So other than that, I don't know what you mean by cancers. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
7th man. After that, Boston offered him this contract, and rightfully so, he declined it and bet on himself, and won. The following season, Jaylen Brown took one of the biggest leaps.
You gotta give context. I'm still stuck on that. I don't know what you meant by that.
Of anybody all year, and it became crystal clear. Gordon Hayward, unfortunately, won't be what they wanted, and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is obviously the future. Always being doubted. Really, since he came there, Jaylen Brown added an extra $35 million to his account simply by betting on himself and winning. And
wait, hold on. My fault, y'all. Hold on. I'm still on that. That's my nigga. I'm on that. By my nigga Kyrie. Hold on.
Respect to Kyrie Irving now. First option Kyrie at that time was...
Oh, okay. I know what you're saying now. Okay. You're talking about his maturity and shit. Okay. Hey, maybe he did got it. Maybe he did need to mature. I don't know. Okay. All right.
Crystal clear. Gordon Hayward, unfortunately, won't be what they wanted, and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is
I respect that. All right.
Obviously the future. Always being doubted. Really, since he came there, Jaylen Brown added an extra $35 million to his account simply by betting on himself and winning. And on that contract, that he really had to go out, bet on himself, prove himself, and earn. Please look at everything he did. 3 All-Star appearances, an All-NBA appearance, 2 Finals appearances, a Finals MVP, and mind you, he did all of...
Not supposed to happen, man. It's supposed to be Tatum, nigga. Let them tell it.
This through immense disrespect by his own organization. This new contract basically started in the 2021 season and ended the year they won the NBA championship. 2021, Jaylen Brown can't play in the playoffs, and they essentially won the NBA championship. 2021, Jaylen Brown can't play in the playoffs, and they essentially get gentlemen swept.
Talk about it. They were talking about Kyrie couldn't beat, what's the name, man? I'm so glad Jaylen Brown is not on this team no more, bro.
Following year, Jaylen Brown tweets this after everything looks disastrous, and Boston goes on one of the most impressive midway turnarounds I've ever seen, and they make the NBA Finals. How exactly is he rewarded? Obviously thrown in another trade rumor to get Kevin Durant, and they failed. Now, I'm not stupid. I understand Kevin Durant, specifically Kevin Durant, and they...
This is prime Kyrie right here.
He failed. Now, I'm not stupid. I understand Kevin Durant, specifically at that time, was Kevin Durant. I understand Giannis now is Giannis. But practically at that time was Kevin Durant. I understand Giannis now is Giannis. But bro, from Jaylen Brown's lens, how many times can he be doubted, prove them wrong, and then once again redoubted, and it means nothing? Okay, the following season, Jaylen Brown has his best year of his career and actually makes an All-NBA team. It just felt like Boston really didn't want him to make that All-NBA team because he now qualified for this Supermax contract that seemed to be reserved for Tatum only. Now they had two of them, and Jaylen Brown earned that. And after signing that contract, and the following year, still playing on the old deal that, remember, he had to earn and bet on himself. The Celtics won the NBA championship, and Jaylen Brown is the finals MVP. When I think back at that finals, I really think about how Boston just took Kyrie completely out the series, how much Boston's fans hated Kyrie, and how Jaylen Brown...
Hey, you can say whatever you want about Kyrie in this. He did not hoop like that for real, but nigga... He was on, nigga. Luka got traded for a reason, but
completely out the series.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
How much Boston's fans hated Kyrie and how Jaylen Brown just harassed Luka. We know how their fans hated Kyrie and how Jaylen Brown just harassed Luka. We know how their title defense attempt went.
Nah,
they won
6 team though. I mean, we gonna talk about it. Like, goodness, Drew. These niggas probably spending, how much money was they spending on this roster, bro? Like, it's crazy though. Any other East team, bro, if these niggas would have got hurt, man, they would have won, bro. Super team, bro. Sheesh.
Just harassed Luka. We know how their title defense attempt went. They won 61 games. They look like obvious Eastern Conference favorites, and the Knicks just punched them in the face, and Jason Tatum towards Achilles. Having to revamp everything after their golden boy Tatum, and I'm not trying to disrespect Tatum because I rock with Tatum, but this is how they view him. And now the player that you begrudgingly had to respect because he earned that guy exceeding expectations and damn near making you championship, at least Eastern Conference favorites before the playoffs started, him doing all of that and still having...
though. You cannot, but I get your point. I get what you're saying. But this nigga Luka was getting attacked every play on defense. Like, we're not doing that, bro. You know? Like, yeah, okay, Kyrie, you could have obviously played better. We know that. But even if Kyrie hooped, bro, man, them niggas had the better team. Them niggas had the better team, bro. Them niggas was ready, bro. They've been losing year after year. They was ready, bro. It is what it is. They had a super team, and Luka was getting attacked on defense. I seen a clip of Kyrie pushing this nigga to play defense, bro. That shit is diabolical, bro.
These Eastern Conference favorites before the playoffs started, him doing all of that and still having to fight for his value is insane.
And this group is a special group. I'm so proud of this group and the way we played. I wish we trusted that style of play a little bit more, but I know playoffs kind of shifted our rotations and what we wanted to do. But I'm so proud, and it was my favorite year of my basketball career.
When Jaylen Brown first said this, I looked at it kind of like Jaylen Brown was selfish, I can't lie. But actually now looking at his career and looking at how year after year after year, he had to really prove his value. And it feels like the one year he finally did is when the Golden Boy was out the way. I understand it now. Think about all the trade rumors Jaylen Brown was essentially a part of. Anthony Davis, the trade was all the trade rumors Jaylen Brown was essentially a part of. Anthony Davis, the trade was centered around Jaylen Brown. Kevin Durant, obviously in 2022, the trade package was around Jaylen Brown. The Giannis trade this year was obviously around Jaylen Brown, and it failed. I don't think I've ever seen a homegrown player more disrespected really for the totality of his whole career than Jaylen Brown. In back-to-back years, in 2016 and 2017, it feels like Boston just got the best of Philly. In 2016, Philly had the first pick, and they picked Ben Simmons, and Jaylen Brown was the best in that draft. In 2017, Boston had the best pick, traded back to Philly's pick, and still got the best player, Jason Tatum. And now it feels like Boston paid them back in the worst way possible and truly made one of the worst trades I've ever seen in my entire life. If you guys like this video, I will be covering basically everything that happens. And I had to touch on this twice because,
that was a good video.
Like I said, it's one of the worst trades I've ever seen, bro. It's up there with Luka.
Luka's overrated, nigga. Y'all let me know what y'all think, bro. I'm out, man. No cap.